There you go, live outside Old Trafford with the United headlines and what's going on with the Ten Hag saga. This is FUTV. I'm Adam. We have Josh on comms. Get your comments, get your questions coming in, everybody. We're going through the headlines first of all and what is actually going on. Please do, first of all, give the video a like. Make sure you subscribe and share the video. Get involved in the chat yourself by subscribing as well. And let's talk Erik Ten Hag and what is going on. The Mr Ten Hag himself is actually getting a little bit peeved off, it would seem, right now with what is actually going on. Now, it's been made quite clear, and we can take reporting and journalists and what they say and what the media is saying as far as we want to in our own opinions, but at the end of the day, most people have been reporting now that Ten Hag knows what's going on. He knows that Manchester United are actually talking to other managers. He knows about the season review, so he's happy with all that. But what he's not happy with is the fact that Manchester United are taking so long, and he now feels like a decision on his tenure at Manchester United, how long he's going to carry on. If he's carrying on, he's getting in the way of what's coming up this summer, his plans. Now, saying that, we're only talking about that because there is other reports that there were talks with Ten Hag, INEOS, the hierarchy at Manchester United, before he left for holiday, talking about possible targets that he wants out of the football club, how they can make money and everything like that. But out of that, actually no real decisive decision was made, and it's still up in the air completely. Now, that is the one ultimate worrying thing for me out of everything that's going on. I mean, for them to have talks before Erik Ten Hag leaves, then to not have any decisive sort of action going on in terms of a plan going into the summer or pre-season, that's a big concern on its own. Then added to that, the fact that you've got this 3-week review that's gone on now. The season's been finished for a while, and him probably wanting to get on with things. It just looks like there is no idea what's going on at Manchester United, and it just keeps falling and falling into the laps of the INEOS outers and the people that were out in INEOS. The big speeches, we're taking United to that next level. It seems to be now looking like there is no idea what's going on. It's looking worse and worse for INEOS with every passing day right now. We're listening to reports from The Athletic, big publications, everyone coming out with their own opinion pieces as well, because let's be fair, like, everything has been reported that can be reported now. Everyone knows what's going on, including the manager, including us, the fans, the media, in terms of where we're at with Ten Hag and what he knows. But all it's doing right now is just giving people an opportunity to go in on INEOS. And it does look like there is no idea what's going on. The reports regarding Dan Ashworth, and Dan Ashworth needing to be in at Manchester United before Sir Jim Ratcliffe's happy in actually going forward with any major decision, it's another concern. A big concern of mine, because we know what's coming up and we know how far we are into the pre-season and the summer right now. So looking at that, and apparently Manchester United staff being told that the recruitment side of things is nowhere near ready yet, simply because Dan Ashworth is not in at Manchester United. I mean, good God, what is going on at United? Like, teams are getting on with things. Like, plans need to be put in place. Ten Hag is concerned, according to reports, that we are not moving on with the summer right now. He'll have his targets. He'll know the players that he wants to bring in. We were talking yesterday about Todibo coming in last summer. It didn't happen because Maguire didn't leave. So that's the target for United. Ten Hag wants to bring him in. Ten Hag will know who he wants to add to the squad. A new manager is going to take even longer, because according to reports and what we've been talking about all week, we have been talking to managers all this last 2 weeks. I mean, if them managers weren't approached in INEOS's plans before the end of the season, then where the hell are they starting with what they want to bring in at Manchester United? Or is that just proof that INEOS want a yes man and want to run Manchester United their way, and it's just going to be a head coach who deals with anything that they throw at him, i.e. new players out, there's your squad, there might be someone training that day but they'll not be here the next day because we've sold him. It kind of shows you the type of character that's going to be coming in as Manchester United head coach or manager, or whatever you want to call the role right now. I've got no idea. Well, it just shows you that INEOS are in no place to actually give the manager any sort of say-so at all. To leave Ten Hag hanging now this long, like, I thought the end of last week was bad on its own. But heading in now, almost halfway through the next week, that's even worse. Now it's looking like I can't even defend INEOS. And I've been a big backer of what they've been doing so far, and I think everything has been positive. The negative side is creeping in very, very slowly right now. And players' agents, players themselves, managers who have been talked to by Manchester United, Ten Hag including, staff at United, coaches. Everyone needs to know what the plan is going forward. And Jim Ratcliffe came in with this whole plan to take Manchester United forward, make us look like a real football club, run the football club properly, get us organised and ready, be structured. But right now, all we're seeing is more chaos than what it would be with the Glazers in situ. Was it that much of a mess at Manchester United that the Glazers have bitten off more than they can chew? Or is it just a case that INEOS really aren't all that and they are struggling right now? Now, they can turn it around, of course they can, but the question is, and I want to get your guys' opinions on this right now, is like INEOS going through this first summer and your impressions of it and how they've approached it. Yes, it's a crazy one. The manager situation, the new staff coming in, everything that's happening with Dan Ashworth. We're waiting for Omar Barada to be in situ. That's another month away, by the way. He was not in until the end of the Euros. So do we accept as United fan base that INEOS are just going to get on with things in the middle of July and we have to wait out this month watching everyone else get on with their business? Is that our plan? And if they get through things quick fire, will it make us all look stupid for panicking about it in the first place? But honestly, right now, I'm edging on the concern side of things. It is a bit of a mess. I said it yesterday, like when a decision is made, everything of this last 3 weeks gets kind of forgotten about and everyone can stop panicking. So there is that side of me which still understands that, you know what, all of a sudden Dan Ashworth might come in, we might make an announcement on the manager and plans that we didn't know about that were going on behind the scenes for players and pre-contract negotiations and whatnot. That could have all been in place, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 in come the players, everything looks more organised and we all look a little bit stupid for even panicking. Let's get into the chat anyway. Hello Josh, how's everything going in the chat? Anyone losing their shit or getting a bit concerned?
Yeah, a few people not got much faith in INEOS by the looks of it.
No, I expected that, to be honest. Anything interesting?
We've got a nice comment from Gray saying, oh no, that wasn't the one that I was supposed to read out actually. I'll read what he's put anyway. Adam, were you tempted to pull your tongue out at the camera on TalkSport?
I don't know what he's on about.
There's another one from Venezuelan Prophet. I don't know if I said that right, but congratulations on the TalkSport appearance, mate.
Nice one, thank you. Yeah, I was on TalkSport this morning, guys. We'll be putting clips of that video out on our shorts on our platforms as well later on today, but the video is up on YouTube as well on their TalkSport platform and their channel, so go and check that out.
And then we've got a comment from Paul Grieve saying, everyone said give INEOS a chance. Sir Jim Ratcliffe only gave himself 3 years and he hasn't started very well.
No, that's the 3-year thing. Again, that was always the big thing for me. Like, you're going to need more time than that. Like I said, it's weeks in. It's not months and years, and we're halfway through a season having had a shocking window. The window's got plenty of time. Things can turn around very, very quickly. And I think INEOS will learn very fast about how Manchester United run, or how they used to run, and what the expectations are from the fans and what is expected. Do they concern themselves with the fan base's opinions? Probably not. We spoke about that. It doesn't really matter to them. When you're investing that amount of money into United, you need to have a backbone. You need to be ready to make big, crucial decisions. Personally right now, so we heard this morning as well regarding the manager situation. We heard about Poch yesterday, he's out of the reckoning. Tuchel the day before. It seems today the hot topic is Southgate. Now, Southgate was top favourite. He was favourite with the bookies yesterday. I expect that to have gone right down now. Be interesting, anyone who wants to bring it up in the chat, who the actual favourite is for the United manager job right now, barring Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag is the ultimate favourite because he's in situ and there's no real announcement needed. But in terms of Southgate, he was top favourite. He was of big interest to INEOS. But reports from the Telegraph are saying today that Southgate now he's not fitting into the timescale for coming into Manchester United for INEOS. The Euros going on till the middle of July, then another set of discussions to come in because apparently Southgate won't speak to anyone, even England, about his new contract until after the Euros. So Southgate shut it down. At least we know there's something's going to happen managerially at Manchester United off them words from INEOS and the reports coming out about Southgate. It's going to happen by the middle of July at least. I know everyone's like, sod off, Adam, I want to know this week. Something's got to happen this week. I agree, I do, but Southgate does not fit the plans of INEOS anymore. So anyone who's panicking about Gareth, the yes man, the easy yes man, I don't think we need to worry as much now. Hopefully them reports are right. And it falls back into that same argument and conversation we've had many a time this week about Manchester United's reports, rumours, and what's happening actually being true. Does anybody know? I was listening to, like many people, and the clips have gone up with David Ornstein on Sky last night, and he basically came out with a lie. Look, I've given up. I'm giving up guessing on what's happening at Manchester United. It actually looks like there is zero plan right now, and it looks like no one has got any idea what's going on. That's not just in the media, that's just at Manchester United. For staff to find out that the recruitment side of things is behind schedule is a big concern for the fan base to hear about. It really is, because we know we have a lot of issues in this football team, and they need rectifying. Besides the leading manager, that is the big one. I still think that INEOS will look at the playing staff side of things and not panic too much. They will deal with what's necessary. I don't think we're going to see it. I mean, I've said it before, like, on paper, it looks like Rashford, Greenwood and Sancho are going to be back in pre-season training while everyone's in European and South American international competitions. But you still got to look at that and go, INEOS will see the situation there. They will deal with it according. I don't think Sancho's going to go anytime soon. I don't think Greenwood's going to go anytime soon. Very, very complicated situations that are going to take time to rectify and sort out. If you want 40 million for Greenwood, 40 million for Jadon Sancho, then you are going to have to be patient and work out a deal and structure something. What happens to them in training and pre-season, that's a different ballgame. And that's where INEOS do have to step in, because you cannot have Greenwood and Sancho working around the rest of the United squad, and definitely not have Sancho working around Erik ten Hag. That's just awkwardness waiting to happen. Anything good in the chat there, Josh, mate?
We've got a couple of comments about the next manager. So United Spotlight saying Zerbi surely nailed on now.
You would think, because he's the only name in the hat, but that's the only reason. Everyone else has gone away, so you're looking at anyone that might be available. Should we be looking into that as like he's the only one left and that's what we've got to go for now? Do we take any hat from the conversations and reports about us actually talking to the Zerbi at all? Can you believe that?
And then we've got one or two comments, obviously, from some people being Erik ten Hag in, some people being ten Hag out. Then we've got a super chat from Craig.
Cheers, Craig.
I'm ten Hag in, but if he got sacked, I would like Gary O'Neill.
Gary O'Neill from Wolves. Remember that story that came out regarding Gary O'Neill actually being recruited to be a member of the staff as in a coach? That was something that was never ever going to happen. We had Ten Hag in, and then Gary O'Neill as his coach. That was never ever going to happen for the structure. And you know what? If I was Gary O'Neill, I would tell them to go for a walk. I would definitely not be interested in that, having been a first team manager. But please give the video a like, guys, as well. Make sure you're sharing and subscribing to the channel. And anything else in there, Josh, question wise, or anything like that? Or anyone with a very strong opinion on what we've talked about before we move on?
Let's have a little look. While I'm looking, we've just closed in on 400 people in the live as well. So
cheers, guys.
We're closing in on the 100 likes mark. So if everyone can get the likes, that'd be great.
Up, guys, come on.
Thomas Frank.
That was what I was going to bring up next, actually, because when you go off what's been said, is Thomas Frank the only man left? Like, we've got Zerbi and we've got Frank. God, where did this review go? Like, where did this managerial review go, and why are we at the stage we're at right now? Honestly, if you were to ask me right now, it looks nailed on that Ten Hag stays, because it's just the easier option. And that's it. Like, INEOS have made a big deal. And you know what? The big thing about this is, INEOS may look at this and say, this isn't a big deal. This is a football structure conducting football business. I just don't think they've reckoned in the United factor, that everything that goes on at United gets leaked out. Everything that someone says at Manchester United will eventually get leaked out. I don't think INEOS in their whole existence, you automatically just assume that you can come out and say in an interview that it's ridiculous that Dan Ashworth isn't allowed to come and work for someone else. Is it okay to come out and say the fan base are not going to be patient enough? We need to turn this team around and this club around within 3 years. He was bullish at the time. I think his mindset would have changed right now. Just in the space of 2 months, 3 months, whenever that interview was, I think it was about 3 months ago, I think his mindset would have changed, and I think the reality would have hit home very, very quickly that you cannot just come out and say these things. And working and dealing with the beast that is Manchester United isn't like working with Team Sky in cycling. It's not like working with the boat side of things. It's not like working with Nice and other smaller football clubs. This is the biggest football club in the world, and everybody wants to know everything. And you cannot keep anything a secret. I just feel like INEOS feel like they're doing right, but to everybody else, because everyone knows what's going on with INEOS, they don't think it's right, and they want answers quicker. This might be moving fast for INEOS. We don't know. Like the conversations that are going on, they're probably looking at newspapers going, where the hell does that come from? How did they know about that? Who's reporting that? That's not even true. There's a lot of this. I would say about 80% of what's been reported is false. We know this from normal summers. But did INEOS know this? Did Sir Jim know this? He said himself, like, he's a man that's used to being behind the scenes, and all of a sudden his family are having to deal with him being out on magazine fronts, in newspapers, on social media, being clipped up everywhere he goes. That's the United factor. And this could all just be a case of like them just conducting the business, like I said, and everything else is being blown up into something that it's not. And that's just United. That's what it is when you're part of Manchester United. You ask any of the players. Some of these players thrived elsewhere. Come to United, collapse. Managers, collapse. The pressure, the poor running of Manchester United, how we've let it get to this state. It all starts to get on top of whoever's at the football club, whether it be coaching staff, manager, people who are working at the football club, just people in offices, players, everything. Like, we've seen everyone come and go from this football club. Welcome to the carnage and the circus, which is Manchester United, Sir Jim. I bet you didn't think it was going to be this bad. Well, this is the nature of the beast, and we're at a stage where everyone now, according to normality at Manchester United, wants answers. Whether you like it or not, INEOS, Sir David Brailsford, Sir Jim Radcliffe, this is what this is all about. This is what this place is. It's just we want it now, we want to know now, and there's nothing that you can do or try and implement that's going to change the way that people think around here. There are standards that you reminded everybody of in that interview that are now needing answers for only 3 weeks into a summer after the season finishing. Welcome, yeah. Anything there, Josh, mate?
Yeah, Mark's reminded me of a comment that he put further up in the chat, so yeah, thanks for that, Mark. It says, Adam, we have no director of football, CEO, set piece coach, striker coach, and need new medical. Are we ready for pre-season?
Fitness coaches as well. We can add that to it. Are we ready for a season?
Are we ready for pre-season?
Are we ready for pre-season? Yeah, that's more to the point. Like, looking at the games, what did we say? What are we now? 33 days away from playing our first pre-season game. It's pretty much straight after the Euros. It will be a makeshift side, because everyone is out on international duty. But the players, like I just mentioned there, this is the significance of the Euros and players coming back and INEOS getting into action and getting into gear. Like, Ten Hag has ramifications and a ripple effect on a lot of players. Sancho cannot come back and train at Carrington if Ten Hag is the manager. We're nowhere near getting a deal sorted for Jadon Sancho. That first game in pre-season, like I said, it's going to be makeshift, but you will have Rashford, you will have Greenwood in the squad, you will have Sancho in the squad, Johnny Evans, big senior players mixed with a lot of our academy, which is supposedly the one shining light. I think it is the shining light. A lot of them are going to be playing. Do you want them players, them young youth players, to be mixing with the likes of Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood? These types of players that are causing the club so many issues. How is Ten Hag, if he is manager, supposed to organise that and be ready for a pre-season? Because no one is going to be available that's in the Euros and Copa America, like we've said. It's going to be weeks before they join in. They'll probably be coming up on the US part of the tour later on. That's how drastic the season is already. And if you haven't got players and squad depth, and if it's a new manager, chance on the training ground to get everything organised, flip a coin. I could not tell you how the season's going to start right now. It may seem like we're jumping the gun on one side, and it sounds like I'm contradicting myself because I'm saying calm down, there's plenty of the window left. Season doesn't start for another 2 months. But let that sink in. 2 months on, what day is it? Sunday, I think. Manchester United kickstart the Premier League season again. Actually, take a week off that because we're in the Community Shield against Manchester City. That's one of our pre-season games. So the first trophy's up to grabs in less than 2 months. There you go. Can United get themselves organised and ready for that? I understand the window's open until what? 2 weeks into this? No, actually, it's 2 weeks into the season. Obviously, the 1st of September. And so transfers can happen while we're in season. But we cannot afford a poor start again. It set us back this time. We didn't manage to get back into the top 4 after that poor start last season. And you don't want that same sort of mindset creeping in again. It's just going to spread through the team, and negativity, like we've always said, spreads quicker than positivity. It'd be nice to get a good start and a good pre-season under our belts. I can't remember the last one we had. That's how long ago it was. I mean, the last good start we had to a season, Solskjaer, 5-1 against Leeds after back of lockdown. It's what I can remember and that comes to mind. Everything else just seems to have been chaotic pre-season going into the start of the season. It's affected it. And like I said, Ten Hag's had shocking starts to the season under both his 2 years at Manchester United. So is he going to get one in the 3rd year? Oh, God, man, we don't even know, man. Is he even going to be the manager? Honestly, don't know. And I think that's what INEOS' job is right now. INEOS' job is to convince the fan base that they are the right people and give us something to get excited about. I just don't think we're going to get it. I don't. Confidence is low at the moment. Even after the high of the FA Cup final finish. But this part of the season, pre-season, when the season's done, you're looking at what the structure brings and the hope that INEOS was. We were all waiting for the season to finish. We wanted to fast forward it. With about 2 months of the season left, everyone just wanted it gone so we could just get on with what INEOS were all about. And their audition, 3 weeks into the summer, near enough, in nearly every United fan's opinion, that's where we're at. Nothing has happened in the first 3 weeks, and I think we should hear something regarding the manager situation by the end of the week. But that ultimately is going to be down to them getting a decision over the line, convincing us that it's the right manager or that Ten Hag is the right man to go forward. I've talked about structuring contracts with Ten Hag and everything like that, but yeah, it's all up in the air completely. But yeah, you all right there? Conversations going on behind the. How you doing, mate? You okay?
Just a quick little run, just running around United. I just spotted you.
Yes, all right. Yep, you want to pop on for a minute? Yeah.
Yes, mate.
We're actually live.
Yeah,
you can do. We're talking about the situation, INEOS.
Okay.
Ten Hag. I suppose the easiest question to ask you is, are you convinced that Ten Hag is the right man for Manchester United? Do you think we should keep him?
100%. Look at what he did last year. I mean, he got some good players in. I know some of the players that we did get in aren't the ones I've been running.
Catch your breath, don't worry, mate. He literally has just stopped on a run to come and speak to us.
I was just running now. I thought I'd run past United's ground, and then I just spotted you. Obviously, used to be on the United stand, so yeah, I recognised you.
Nice one, mate. Appreciate that.
But yeah, with Ten Hag, he's the right manager. I mean, this season we didn't end on a good result, eighth in the table. But if you think about it, with the players that we've had in the season, the amount of injuries, he's done well. He's done well for what he's done. So I think you have to give him his credit. I mean, look at what he did in the FA Cup final. The tactics he played to outwin
Why did it
City.
take that long? Why did it take such a big game to get it out? Because here's a question for you that I've asked, why does everyone big up Ten Hag for that performance against City and always come out and say it's the players that are at fault, when really Ten Hag and the players were up for that City game? So where is the problem? Because the players turned up and so did Ten Hag, tactics and performance-wise.
But wouldn't you say that in that City game we got a lot more injured players back?
They're the ones that people are saying are the issue. The McTominays, the Rashfords.
I think McTominay shone this season with the way in which he's played good football. He's getting us goals. Like Rashford, he's a different situation with the way in which the media hype him up, and yet he's
Would you get rid of Rashford this summer?
In my opinion, he's never been consistent. He's a 1 goal every 4 game, and in my opinion, if I was United, you want someone that is going to be consistent. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Get rid of Rashford, keep Ten Hag ultimately.
Oh, 100%. In my opinion, if Ten Hag gets the players he needs, I think next season we could be on for a run at the season.
As in top 4? What's your target?
I think top 4. But I think, yeah, top 4 is about right.
Would you say then, like I've said before, if Ten Hag is still at Manchester United this summer, do you think INEOS need to back him? Like give him another contract?
100%. I think with the new restructure at the top of the club, I think there could be a good few new players coming through. Obviously, if they get the new structure with the way in which they're not going to be buying Galacticos, hopefully that should mean more youngsters should be coming through. So yeah, hopefully that.
I appreciate you stopping and talking to us, mate.
Nice meeting you.
Absolute
Nice
pleasure.
Nice
Cheers for that, mate.
Nice one.
Have a good rest of your run. Come on, PB time. Right, okay, sorry I had to move the camera down a little bit there, guys, but this is live outside. This is what it brings. Hopefully we can get more little snippets and interviews like that for you guys as well. But there's a fan fully behind Erik Ten Hag, just on his jog around Old Trafford, as he said there. But guys, let me know what you think of the lads' thoughts there regarding Ten Hag. Get rid of Rashford, keep Ten Hag. This is where a lot of the fan base are. If I asked 10 people outside Old Trafford here today, I guarantee you 90% would say keep Ten Hag right now. He's the best option that there is. There's no one else really convincing out there. And if there isn't better, should we even be looking? We've looked. INEOS, again, this is like the worry for me. It's like INEOS have got this vision that they think best in class is a certain someone, whereas they're new to the Premier League. I don't care what amount of football they've watched, how many times they've watched Manchester United, what their idea of best in class is for United is completely different to what a lot of Manchester United fans expect. Southgate is not best in class, neither is Zerbi, Poch. None of these managers are best in class. Pochettino isn't. There are other managers out there that are best in class, but we can't get them. Everyone knows my opinion. If it was going to be anyone, first of all, I was on Nagelsmann, and then it was Tuchel. Both of them have now gone out. So, is there anyone else that INEOS can convince this fan base is better than what we've got already in Ten Hag at Manchester United? I am not convinced one bit that they even know right now who another manager is for Manchester United. The problem you've got with INEOS is right now, because they've underestimated the club and what it is in the media and the leaks and the stories that do get out, the problem you've got now is that everybody knows that they have been looking for another manager. So everybody knows that they are not fully behind Erik Ten Hag. It's clear they're not behind Ten Hag because you wouldn't be bleeding looking. So now they're in a situation where all of these managers have gone by the wayside. No one is good enough. So what did he do? Does it look like they are an indecisive outfit now and this is going to be the way forward? Is this the way it's going to be with players? Like, if you cannot find a replacement for Marcus Rashford, oh well, let's just stick to keeping Marcus Rashford then. And does it feel like it's rinse and repeat? Does it feel like it's exactly what it was before INEOS even came in? And I can tell you for nothing that there's a lot of the fan base thinking that way right now, just through people that I've spoke to online, other fans that have messaged me, and talking to a lot of people out here. We've done some footage and spoke to some United fans outside today, and a lot of them are just like, look, you tell me right now what is better out there. You tell me what the plan is for INEOS from what you've seen so far. Because in season, it looked like we had the right idea. Getting people in position. Omar Barada, that was like big, boom, yes. Done it on the stealth mode. No one knew about it. Fantastic. Let's hope that that's the way that United go forward. And then it's gone. Downhill, 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 downhill slowly. I'm not saying it's all bad. But realistically, from that high of Barada, what has been good with INEOS so far this season? Or this pre-season from that point? Like Wilcox, yes. Obviously, we've now got a communications officer in. There's another one. We're waiting for Barada. We're waiting for ASHWORTH. When they're in, is that when we have to judge INEOS? Is that the fair way to do it? Well, a lot of fans have already made their mind up. You tell me. Get your comments in below if you're catching up with the video, guys. Quickly into the chat before we go. Josh, what have we got, mate?
Yeah, we've got Saeed in the chat.
Saeed, what's happening, mate?
He's, I think he's blown away by that fan. He's put done well, question mark, 8th in the league.
Yeah, that's the debate. It's like, done well. I'm one. I won't letting him off with the injuries. It's good to hear other fans' opinions and what they think, but like, obviously, everyone has their own. Like, I'm on the standard side of 8th is nowhere near good enough. I'm not getting blown away by the FA Cup final win. We've done this before. We did it against Liverpool. We did it against City. You cannot just judge them 2 games on a whole season. Your bread and butter is the league, and it's our worst ever. You can't ignore that. And he is always looking to blame someone else. That's my big gripe, and everyone knows that. I'm going to stick with that. I'm not convinced by it. I'm just not convinced by anyone else out there, that's all. Go on, Josh, any more, mate?
Said saying he wants De Zerbi. Same with Ramo. Ramo saying he wants De Zerbi as well. But then we've got a comment back from Kenny, Fan TV, saying De Zerbi would relegate us.
There you go. Opinions of football. Honestly, debate would go on forever and a day. You could talk for hours on end about what's right and what's wrong. INEOS are not going to be able to please everyone at Manchester United. Definitely not in the fan base. They're not convincing anyone right now, like we've just said. But still, a decision has to be made. They have to stick to the guns. They have to stick to the principles, and they have to go with what they think is right. Just make the bleeding decision. Get it done, and let's get on with this pre-season. Let's get ready for next season. Before we finish up, Josh, anything else, mate?
Still quite a few people saying it. De Zerbi, actually. The ferocious De Zerbi over Ten Hag any day of the week. I'm under Eric Ten Hag, under a new structure. That's from Ewan.
Yeah, I think De Zerbi is probably the one that's out there that's the definite unknown right now. Like, everyone else has been written off officially, it would seem, within the media, except De Zerbi. He's the last man standing. I did the video last night. Is he the only one with any credentials at all? Well, he's won nothing, and Ten Hag has won 2 trophies in the Premier League. That's what people will argue. Like, again, I've said, like, the trophies I want are the Premier League and the Champions League. We're nowhere near competing for either of them under Ten Hag. We should have been improving on third last season and challenging City with what we've done, what we did in the one. And everyone said the summer was a bit of a sham as well. Last summer, like, we spent enough money last summer and improved on a team that finished third and went worse. So, yeah, that is down to Ten Hag and his recruitment side of things in terms of the players that we picked and then the money we spent on them players. So I can see the arguments for both right now. Honestly, I want something else to talk about. I want a decision being made so we can actually add a little bit of clarity to the conversation and debates we're having with people and go, right, this is what we've got. We can moan about it, but at least we know which way we're going and we can talk about what might happen past that point. But, guys, that is us all finished. Thank you so much for getting involved in the chat, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you give the video a like on your way out. Subscribe to Forever United TV. I'm Adam, FUTV out of here. I'll see you all later on this evening, everyone.